listening to Fourth and Inches on Spreaker Web Radio, presented by Bayou State Pawn and Jewelry, Bayou Bark, and RDM Audio. Now here are the hosts, Nick Lott and Armando Ramirez.
And we're back, Fourth and Inches, Spreaker Web Radio, Nick Lott, Armando Ramirez. Before we get into Week 5, one thing I did want to kind of touch on. That last intro was done by Carl Dukes, and for me personally, this is really kind of a big thing for me because Carl Dukes, he's been such a force in Houston sports radio for quite some time now, and it was made. He hasn't officially said what he's going to be doing, but he's leaving Houston to go to a different market. What it is, nobody really knows, just the people that work for ESPN 97.5. But the reason I'm saying this is because Carl, AJ, Fred, Anson, John Wessling, all those guys have been a huge inspiration for me to do what I'm doing right now. They inspired me to do this radio show. I've had Carl on my show before. And for me, Houston's losing an iconic voice to sports radio. I mean, this guy, he's been there a good 10, 15 years, but he's a great guy. Love him to death. Whatever it is that his new job is going to be, I know he's going to be great. Just an awesome guy and a really good talent. But getting into Week 5, no really big games this week. I mean, Baylor's taking on West Virginia. Baylor's in the top 25, which, I mean, I guess I can see that, but, I mean, look how they played ULM last week. And I remember saying on the show last week, Baylor's going to have to watch out. That game, the score indicated it closer than it actually was because ULM scored at the end of the game. Right. But they're going on a road to play West Virginia, and what a lot of people don't realize is that is a very tough place to play. West Virginia is in the top 10 in the country. They're sitting at number 9 right now. Geno Smith, he's a really good quarterback. I still think that West Virginia is overhyped. I mean, we've been saying that since before the season even started.
Yes, we have.
And
yeah, Baylor getting into the top 25, that's a big thing for them. Of course, we've talked about this forever now, losing Robert Griffin and losing Kendall Wright, and all the big players that they had. Getting back into the top 25, that's a good first step for Baylor. Now, West Virginia, I still think they are a little overhyped. I think top 10.
I mean, they've been just completely demolishing opponents, though. But last week they played Maryland and only beat them by 10 points.
Exactly.
And the guys on the radio were talking today. They were talking about what games to bet on, and I think Baylor's getting 11 points. So West Virginia is an 11-point favorite. I kind of like them to cover that spread just because I know how Baylor's defense is, which is not very good, and they're very good offensively. Obviously not as good as last year, but they still have a good offense. All the elements are there. Their defense is what's going to hurt them in this game. And West Virginia, they're just going to turn this game into a track meet like they did the Orange Bowl.
Right, yeah. And definitely I think West Virginia's going to win this game probably by, what?
I'd say 3 touchdowns.
I say 2, so probably 14, 2 touchdowns. But so Baylor's probably going to be out of the top 25 again, but I mean Baylor's making strides and they're doing good things at the program after they lose such big pieces in their program. So good job, Baylor. We think you're going to lose this week. West Virginia, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Who knows?
Ohio State taking on Michigan State. Michigan State kind of in a lull after losing to Notre Dame. They won last week. Le'Veon Bell had 256 yards. That dude's just. I don't see how you don't have him on the Heisman watch.
I got him on ESPN. So.
But I mean, this dude is just week in and week out. I can't say it enough. I mean, it's just big play after big play. 256 yards. Some running backs that takes them 2-3 games to get, and that dude did it in 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just goes to show you how talented he is. But I mean, ultimately, I think Michigan State's going to drop this game. I think Braxton Miller has a good thing going for him at quarterback, and Urban Meyer in his first season at Ohio State's doing really good things. And I just think it's going to be too much for the Michigan State Spartans to handle.
Right. Number 14, OSU, taking on Michigan State, number 20 in the country. I just don't see it, really. I don't think I think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a good game. I think Michigan State's not going to drop 2 in 3 weeks. So I'm going to take Michigan State by I think I'm going to take Michigan State by a touchdown. Just because I don't think they're going to drop 2 in 3 weeks. So I think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a great game, and I think Ohio State, I think they're good. I just don't I don't know. Something's telling me to pick Michigan State, so we're just going to go with my gut.
Nebraska and Wisconsin, the Big Ten matchup of the week. Adidas is doing some new uniforms with them.
Right.
I've seen them. They look pretty cool. But as far as the game, I mean, I really don't know who to pick in this game just because I haven't watched much Big Ten football this season. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards Wisconsin. Just Monty Ball is – I mean, they did drop their opener to Oregon State. Or their home opener to Oregon State,
right.
And Oregon State's 2-0. They're doing really, really well this season. But I don't know. I mean, how long has Taylor Martinez been in Nebraska? It feels like he's been there as long as Case Keenum was at U of H.
Right.
But I mean, that dude, he has to be graduating after this year. Like he has to be working on like a doctorate or something. Like this dude has been there since Michael Crabtree was at Texas Tech.
Really?
That
long?
That long. Michael Crabtree's sophomore year at Texas Tech, Taylor Martinez was there.
Dang.
And Michael Crabtree's been in the NFL, I think, 3 seasons now. So, like, we got a 6-year senior on our hands. But I think Wisconsin takes this one by 10 points.
Yeah, they're playing at Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, if you do remember, last year they beat Nebraska pretty handily. In the first game, Nebraska was in the Big Ten. I think the score was like 42-10 or something. So they beat them pretty handily. I think Nebraska's going to show up for the game. I think they were a little embarrassed by what happened last year, coming into the Big Ten and losing like that. But I think Wisconsin's going to handle this game either way, and they're going to come up with the W. Moving on.
Texas, are they number 12? They're number 12 in the country?
They're number 12 in the country.
All right, whatever works. But Texas and Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Texas, number 12 in the country, really just surprised me just now. But
I'll double check.
I mean, I guess they're improved on what they were last season. I haven't seen them play a game. Have they played like even a worthy opponent yet?
Probably not.
I mean, they opened the season with Wyoming.
No, all their games are played on the Texas Longhorn Network, so you can't watch. It's exclusive, so not too many people can watch it.
Unless you have Time Warner Cable, I think that's one of the channels you get for free.
Really?
But
Okay.
I don't have that, so.
Yep. It's all suddenly here.
Oklahoma State. Who did they lost like? To someone, and it was a big deal. I can't think of who off the top of my head.
I just looked it up too. It's gonna make me mad that I can't remember, but. Yeah,
I guess I kind of like Texas in this game, and I mean this is literally a blind prediction in the fact, in the sense that I haven't seen either of these teams play all season, and so I mean I guess I kind of like Texas just simply because of the fact that they're ranked higher, but I wouldn't at the same time I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma State do something.
Right, and definitely Oklahoma State, good team. They only lost one game to Arizona.
That's who it was.
It was at Arizona. They lost 59-38, but they beat Savannah.
They dropped like 84 on them, right?
Yeah, they dropped 84 on them, and they dropped 65 last week. So I mean. It's not to say that they're not a good team. I mean, just because they lose there, everybody loses. I mean, unless you're like Alabama or LSU. I mean, everybody loses eventually. Oklahoma State just lost the second week of the season, which doesn't help their cause at all.
That's a hard question.
Why don't I go out of the box here? Since we're in Aggie land and I don't like Texas at all,
You're going to pick Oklahoma State?
We'll take Oklahoma State, and I'm probably going to transfer there anyway, so I got to start.
All right. I can deal with that.
Got to start with it.
But this next game, Texas A&M and Arkansas. We touched on Arkansas in the last segment. Wow, Lil Wayne's 30 years old.
Damn.
We're watching Pardon the Interruption, so it just popped up. Happy birthday, Lil Wayne, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think he'll live much longer with all the lean that he drinks. But Texas A&M and Arkansas. Arkansas 1-2, Texas A&M 2-1. Dropping 70 on South Carolina State. One of my friends tweeted something about. One of my friends tweeted something about apparently South Carolina State's not very good at football. We scored 70 points on them, and I just said, just wait till October 20th. LSU will prove that A&M's not very good at football. But this game is played at Kyle Field, so I mean, big, huge home field advantage for the Aggies. And with the state of Arkansas's program, I can't not pick against A&M as much as I don't like them. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense to say, yeah, Arkansas is going to win this game. And, I mean, when A&M played them last year, they were a lot better team, and Arkansas ended up coming out on top. But that was a whole blown second half. I don't think that'll happen again this year. We said that going into the Florida game as well. And Florida ended up scoring points in the second half and winning that. But if Tyler Wilson's back, that helps Arkansas tremendously.
Florida to Arkansas right now.
But I'm just going to say, Tyler Wilson was out last week.
Okay.
And if he's back, that helps their confidence tremendously. Not to the point where I think they can run away with this game, but I think they could keep it close, but A&M would still come out on top.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely A&M, Arkansas. It used to be a pretty big rivalry.
Back when they were in the Southwest Conference together.
No, even in the Big 12, last year. They played them last year at the Cowboy Stadium.
Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't know how far back you were going with that.
No, I was just going back last year. Last year was a big game, and they were playing Cowboy Stadium, and Texas A&M couldn't seal the deal, but Texas A&M blew all their second half leads last year, like we were saying. So, I mean, right now, at this point, at the state, what I'm doing right now, or what I'm seeing right now, A&M is getting way better. Their quarterback, Johnny Manziel, he's doing really good. He's not trying to run the ball as much. He's trying to pass. He's not letting his legs do all the work. So I think he's developing into a good quarterback. He's only a freshman, remember? And I think Arkansas has way too many problems on their hands, even though if Tyler Wilson comes back, I think he would have to put him on the back to win the game, which I really don't think is going to happen. So, saying that, A&M wins, no doubt about it. I don't probably shouldn't say that, but whatever. But that's going to do it for our second segment, Week 5. We'll be right back with our headlines and some Heisman hopefuls. Right back on 4th and Inches.
No, let's take another drink so I can lose control.
You're listening to 4th and Inches on Spreaker Web Radio. 4th and Inches is presented by Bayou State Pawn and Jewelry and Bayou Bark. Now here are the hosts, Nick Lott and Armando Ramirez.
We're back, 4th and Inches, Spreaker Web Radio. Not the final segment. We have like 15 minutes left in this show, so this is going to be a quicker segment. Song is Rooftop by Dave Matthews Band. Really good album. Just came out a couple weeks ago, Away from the World. If you like Dave Matthews, check out that album. But getting back into things, Michigan and Notre Dame, they're cutting out their rivalry after 2013, I guess, with Notre Dame moving to I keep forgetting that's not effective in football. But
well, it kind of is effective.
Well, they're going to be playing ACC opponents, but
not technically in the
conference.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so they're cutting that rivalry after 2013. I guess that just makes sense to do that.
That's a big rivalry. They've had some pretty good games the past 2 years. Not exactly this year, but the year before, it was like